Hello, Steve White's 89. Sorry for my low-tech video, but I'm not feeling well. But I had to talk about Andrew Tate. Now, I don't know much about this guy. I never really heard about him. I'd seen a couple of videos, I think came up on TikTok, and I'm like, who's this guy? And after a few seconds listening to him, I thought, oh, he's a douche. And I didn't really watch any of his videos. And then I'd heard that he apparently was some big misogynist, and he was making a lot of really disturbing comments about women, which apparently men were all celebrating like, oh yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? I don't know. But he had his recent little spat with Greta Thunberg, and it was kind of epic. He was going on about, oh my god, I have all these big cars, and they're really big, and here's my big cars, and my big emissions. And he was just like taunting her, I think, trying to taunt her, like, I have all these cars, and I basically am ruining the environment all by myself. So she sent him that infamous email email address where he basically said, how can I contact you to show you all my cars? And she's like, you can email me at, smallenergy@getalife.com or something, and just owned him. But of course he got all upset and he made this video. And unfortunately for him, this was not the best move, because he's been investigated since April for trafficking women, allegedly. But at the moment, I think they weren't sure where he was, and I think they needed to be able to prove where he was to get a search warrant to raid his property. And what did he do? He put a picture up of himself with a pizza box, which just happened to have the address. Or they were able to work out from the address where he was in the world. And then they got I can't even think. They were able to go, basically. They were able to go and raid him. They got their search warrant signed, and they showed up, and they did indeed find the women who were allegedly being trafficked, because they had tried to contact the embassy or something. They'd been, I think one of them had been brought over from America and, lied to and told that she was going to have a relationship with the guy and all that, and then they just basically made her work for them, and allegedly they're making women make videos they don't want to make and so forth. I don't want to get into the details because they're really disgusting. But yeah, so in his sad small d energy attempt at getting one up, or trying to salvage his dignity after Greta trashed him. And this is a man who's going after a 19-year-old girl. And I must admit, I'm sad that Greta's about to turn 20 and she's no longer like a girl boss anymore. She's going to be like a woman boss, because there's a lot of women bosses, but there weren't a lot of girl bosses. Yeah, so in his attempt to try and, get one back on her for humiliating him, all across the world, he basically gave away his location and dobbed himself in, basically, and got himself arrested. And now he's being charged with sex trafficking, because he was allegedly sex trafficking women, and they found them right there in the residence, and they were obviously like, yes, I'm being sex trafficked, help me. So yeah, so I think he's done. Now, of course, all the usual suspects, including Tyrone Magnus, which really disappointed me, were like, oh, this must be a mistake, because we love this guy, because we love misogynists. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this guy apparently was doing videos explaining why women should be... I'm not even going to say it, because I don't like the idea of people clipping what people say. But you know what? He was like... apparently it was like an instructional video on how to, abuse certain, people of the opposite sex. So I'm like, I wonder what happens in Tyrone's house. I mean, he's got a wife. I mean, how can you have a woman in your life, whether a daughter, a mother, or a wife, and think that things like this are okay to say or promote or whatever? So he's all upset, and these guys are all upset. Oh, he's been set up. It's a raid. It's just the raid's just fake. They're just going after him. They're targeting him because of politics. I'm like, maybe they're targeting him because of the women in his basement. Maybe could that be it? I don't know. I don't know. From my understanding, police can't just make up any trash and go into someone's house unless they're black. But if they're like anyone else, they actually need some sort of proof, because if they don't have proof, then they get caught on it later. They get in trouble when it goes to court, because unless they're going to do a real good job of faking evidence, they have to have something. So he gave them something. in his sad attempt at, getting his dignity back after Greta, totally owned him, he basically handed himself into police for sex trafficking without meaning to. So good riddance, goodbye. I believe he's guilty. You can't speak that way about women and not, have that, inform other choices in your life, which, obviously, if you want power over other people, other people are going to be disempowered and victimized, and they have every right to, pursue you illegally for that. So I hope he's down. I hope he stays down. I don't doubt for a second he's guilty. And even if he isn't actually, there's no way, I'm so nice, I'm considering that there could be a possibility, but no, he's guilty. And I'm just glad he's going to get done for it. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe.